Good evening, race fans. I'm Pirate here with Black Flag Racing TV. And the reason for the pause is I was trying to catch my missus singing in the kitchen on the mic, but as soon as I started talking, she stopped. So I didn't catch her. Sorry about that. And I'm going to get punched in the head in a minute, I think. Anyway, on we move. Last week we were there, Red Bull Ring. Exciting race last week. It was quite interesting. And this is how it ended up. That's how the standings look after last week at the Red Bull Ring. Forza Ferrari still leads the way, although that does look like the week before's results. I'm going to check something quickly. Hold on. No, that is right. That is right. That's where we stand. Forza Ferrari leading the way, 151 points. Harley 144. Dunners in third, 1, 2, 5. We also do the Top Geezer Trophy, of course. Challenges every single week for all the different drivers. And this is how the TG Trophy looks this week. Bray Train leads the way. 5 points for him. Fingers on 4. And then Dunners, Scuba, and me currently sitting second on 4. I don't know how I'm hitting my challenges because some of them involve me being nice to Lewis Hamilton. I don't remember doing that ever. Nathan, Sati, Wolsey on 3, Cameron, Ash and Harley, on 2, Harley and Kells on 1 apiece. So this is the weekly challenges for the TG Trophy this week. Harley needs to finish in all 3 sessions in the top 5. That's a distinct possibility based on the way he's racing at the moment. I've got to reach 10 live viewers and 40 comments. That is piss with this league. I'll do that within about 30 seconds of qualifying. And then no one will turn up tonight and I'll look like a mug, but there we go. Toys defeat a fellow Australian in all 3 sessions. I don't even know if he's got a fellow Australian in there this evening. But we'll soon find out. Connor outpoint both Mercedes drivers in at least 1 session. Certainly possible. I don't know, actually Paggy's looking pretty swift at the minute. To be fair, Ryan's doing pretty well at the moment as well. Nathan's got to beat Harley in any session. That's not easy the way Harley's been driving. Cameron, stay away from every driver. Well, that's easy enough to do because essentially what Cameron will do is he'll crash somewhere around that 1 or 2 and then just basically spam the chat for a bit. Or there or thereabouts. Scuba, get a faster lap time in either race over 4 or more drivers. Dunners, top 8 quali, top 7 sprint and top 6 feature. Oh, he's a shoo-in for that, surely. Fingers score enough points to move up 1 place in the standings. Everybody else could crash and he still couldn't do that. Wolsey scored 15 or more points overall. That's potential. Although he was posting pictures on the Discord of him drinking beer very, very early this Friday. But then he does it every week and he still manages not to crash. So there we go. Bray Train beat Toys in at least 2 sessions. Oh yeah, Bray Train's Australian, isn't he? There we go. You can beat him in at least 1 session. Yeah, that's true. That's true. To be fair, I do think you're probably right. Because you are driving like an absolute demon at the moment. HDE Baguette beat Ryan and Scuba in at least 1 session. Baguette is new. Welcome, Baguette. I've got a little picture for you to come up in a bit. To celebrate you arriving. We're moving on to qualifying very shortly. Paddy beat all the other Australians in at least 1 session. Good evening, Scuba. How you doing, man? Ash, nice to have you back. Ash, just finished all 3 sessions, friend. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Anyway, moving swiftly on. This is where we are. We are at Mexico City, and for some reason my Mexico video did not upload correctly. But then to be fair, I wasn't actually supposed to be working today, and I got dragged in last minute. So it was kind of thrown together lastminute.com. There we go. Anyway. So we're loading up ready for qualifying. As I said, here we are. We're round 10 at Mexico. What's that, Sam?
Everybody strap in!
Everybody strap in. Thank you very much, Sam. And I've got this for you. So we've got 1 new driver out there today, and that is Baguette. And I want to introduce Baguette to this. That's enough of that. I don't even know if Baguette's actually French. But there we go. Anyway, shit done. Right, we're moving on. Qualifying time. I don't know why people don't like this track. The Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. As they have never said, sorry, I've got a bit of a cough at the moment, which is unusual because I stopped smoking 2 months ago, but there we go. Yeah, Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. They've never said that in Spain because that's not how they pronounce it. So I've got the track map up, awesome nerves. Cameron straight out there, he's ready to go in the Red Bull. So guess who gets the track guide? Or at least a little run through anyway. So yeah, it's an interesting racetrack. Forza Ferrari currently leads the way, and I think it's going to be difficult. You know, we've only got a couple of rounds left before this is all done and dusted, and I think Forza at the moment is looking to be shooing to get involved in winning that championship. He's had some really good races. He had a good race last week. It was a little bit sidey, and you know, there was another driver going side by side with him into the corners, and it was close, but he was still very fast. Yeah, we had a few lobby problems last week. Don't know why. Not my problem. So here we go, round the last couple of corners. Let's get rid of all this kerfuffle and just go fully on board. Round that last turn at the Rodriguez, and then you go fly down the straight, and you cross the line to start your hot lap. You take down full pelt, sticking to the left-hand side of the track. You're looking for the 50 metre board as you turn into the first there on the brakes down into the second gear. Get that rotation. Then you've got this left and right combo before you're back on the power again. Swings round into the IS zone number 1. And look at that. Rear wing is open on that Red Bull. Heading down again. 15 metre board, which is really important. It's kind of like the orange stick on the side. Before you've got another left-right combo, followed by a very quick right here where you're down to the second gear again. Double apex right hand of that one. You're back on the power again. Heading round, squeezing round to the left-hand side. Just a lift for that. Lift for this and power. All the way through. Another right-hander. Again, you need to put quick. You don't need to get powering through. Heading down then. You've got another DRS zone coming up there. If I remember rightly. Then you're into the really streetlight stadium section. A big left-hander, big right-hander. You've got a little glass down, one more right-hander, and then you're into the start finish straight yet again, and another complete a lap around Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. And for the time being, he's on pole. Of course he is, because he's the only person to set a lap thus far. And that's 1:19.0 to put Cameron on pole. And as if to say, did you think that was good? No, it wasn't. This is what a good lap looks like. Forza Ferrari. He's not even Italian. 1:17.4 to put himself on pole position. So that's front row at the moment. It's Forza and Cameron and heading up that front row. Because you know, chuckling in my headphones somewhere. It's really annoying me. I don't know where it's coming from. It's not like I've got another window open somewhere where there's some talking on it. It's really frustrating. But anyway, that's not your problem. That is a me problem. Connor puts that Haas on the front row, just behind Forza with a 1:18.0. 1:18.4 for Connor, a 1:18.0 for Aksh. So at the moment, 6/10 of a second is what keeps Forza at the head of the pack in pole position. I want to see how Baguette gets on. Baguette is new, and welcome Baguette. Yeah, so Baguette is out, and he is on his hot lap now. Let's see how he gets on in the Williams racing car. Down to turn 1. DRS protection there for the second DRS zone on this particular circuit. Paggy, that pole position for Paggy with a 1:17.4. These are 7 miles of freaking racing, man. Freaking racing. And Ash for time for second. But the time with a 1:18.0, so not necessarily doom and gloom. But that is red for Baguette in the Williams at the moment, so they're not. And, oh my days, bye-bye baguettes. Yeah, that didn't go too well for Baguette there. So, let's find another car. I'll tell you what, my life and my life and my street are well off. And I don't know why that is. Hopefully you're not having the same problem. Hopefully my commentary is actually relevant to what you're looking at and it's not too far. Right, so Paggy leads the way on pole position, joined on that front row by Ford Ferrari, coming out for another crack at that pole position. The difference between them is 3 thousandths of a second. So by the time it took me to say that, they could have easily changed that time. It's so close, it's ridiculous. Bray Train 1:17.8 ahead of Ryan on road 2 with a 1:17.9. Ash is out of this session with a 1:18.0. Currently heads up road 3 with Scuba. Scuba diving behind with a 1:18.1. I'm here all week for the planes. There was me thinking we have 15 drivers start. We have just 4. And where's the freaking reserve? I don't know. Connor on row 4. Dollars just behind. 1:18.4 and 1:18.3. Sorry, 1:18.8. Cameron is 1:19.0 still. And a 1:20.8 for Fingers, who's clearly not trying. Oh, mate, pull your finger out. Ah. Yes, sorry, I apologise for that. That should be much better now. Thanks, Ash. I've had to keep adjusting it and playing with it over the last few weeks. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Yeah. For some reason, and I can't work out why, it resets itself. My old computer, which was slow and the picture was shit and the sound was shit, nothing reset itself in between sessions. For some reason, when I turn this PC off at night, everything resets back to default. So I've got to remember, I've actually got to put a post-it note on my screen to remind me to reset the levels each time, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but yeah, that's why, because the levels reset themselves. Yeah, well, yeah. I think it's because obviously when I turn the computer off, I turn the capture card off, which is in the computer now. I used to have an external one, so that it wasn't really affected in the same way. Anyway, Toys, Woolsey, Harley and Baguette. Toys, Woolsey and Harley knew it at the time. Baguette can't set one because Baguette is repairing the car. Unfortunately. Keep an eye on you, you've got speed. Well, you say that, but you've only done an 18.0 and you crashed, mate. So, it's kind of blink and you miss it. If you're going to crash that quick in a race, we could be in trouble. And Forza Ferrari, with a 1:16.9, sets that stall out and says to Paggy, the next time you get that close to me, I'm going to burn you, mofo.
Denied.
Absolutely denied. Paggy drops down to second. Still on the front row, but behind Forza Ferrari, who's back on pole. Bray Train and Ryan on row 2. Ryan going again, trying to push up that order. Ash claims that he's super quick, but he's getting pushed down the order because he crashed his car. And there goes Harley with a 1:17.8 into that top 4. So this thing of Nathan beating him in any session, it's going to bloody happen pretty damn soon, I think, because he's already almost a second faster in qualifying. I take back what I said. And Woolsey, who without question is halfway to a drunk right now, is sitting on the second row with a 1:17.8. Yeah, well, that's the problem, because this is what happened to you, mate.
I crashed.
You crashed? How are you coming fast?
How are you coming fast? You crashed. So, everybody set a lap. This is how it looks with, I don't even know how long's left for qualifying. Excuse me, 7 minutes left. This cough is kicking my ass. Forza and Paggy on the front row. Bro Train and Woolsey are on row number 2. Row 3 will be Harley. Well, not necessarily, but is Harley and Ryan right now. Action and Scuba on row 4. Dunners and Connor on row 5. Toys and Cameron on row 6. Fingers and Baguette on row 7. And apparently you have a choice, if you want to please your lady, of choosing Toys in 11th or Fingers in 13th. I actually went there. I took it down that road, and well, it is what it is. Apparently, Cameron in between them is not something that a woman likes in the bedroom. Apparently, he's got a twitch. That's why they don't like it. I shouldn't drink beer before I do a broadcast, you know. It doesn't matter this weekend because I've got no. Yeah, it's a quiet weekend for me. Usually, we've got loads of stuff going on. Thank you very much, mate. It's very pleased to hear that. However, when you actually listen to some professional commentators, you might change your mind, my friend. You might change your mind. Yeah, so usually I've got lots of stuff going on the weekend. Usually we've got something with GT Champion, the Porsche Cup, that kind of thing. Little break in between, because obviously the Porsche Cup finished a couple of weeks ago. We're having a little break before the qualifiers for GT Champion starts, and that is, I believe, the week of the 18th, 19th. Is it? Or is it the week after? Something like it's. I don't know why I'm looking at bloody February. That's the problem. I haven't changed my calendar on the wall to February to March. So where are we now? We're there. Yeah, I think it's GTC starts on the 18th and 19th. That's when qualifying starts for the GTC World Cup. So it won't just be this little thing on a Friday. It'll be loads of stuff all weekend, all the way through. We've also got coming up for the weekends, we've got the GTFusion World Team Championships, which is massive. It's a huge thing. And it's kind of where I started. I was doing some little stuff on the side for another race group who will not be named because the guy that run it is a thieving little cunt. Anyway, moving on. And I was doing some stuff for them, and then I got involved with GTFusion, and it went stratospheric in terms of viewing audiences. Generally, Fusion brings in sort of 400 or 500 live viewers at a time because it's a massive World Team Championship with over 300 drivers and loads of teams and stuff. But that's coming up that same weekend, actually, 18th and 19th. I lied. It's the 24th, 25th, and 26th of March for that. Black Flag have got 9 drivers involved in that particular World Team Championship. And I think we've got 5 involved in the GTC World Championship. So it's going to get very busy very soon. What else is coming up while we're waiting for some people to put in some laps? We've got the usual stuff we do on a regular basis, but we've also got some endurance stuff coming up, some big endurance racing stuff coming up. We've got 12 hours at Bathurst. That comes up, I think that's in May. We've got 1,000 miles at Monza. I can't remember what it's called now. I think it's that. It's basically for the Endurance Racing Federation. It's 8 hours at Monza. We've got 8 hours at Nuremberg, Catalonia. We've got 12 hours at Bathurst. We've got a 24-hour at the Nürburgring, 1,000 kilometres at Suzuka, 24-hour at Spa, Fuji 500 miles, a Le Mans 6-hour, loads of really cool long stuff. So I would love it if some of you could come and join me, even for 20 or 30 minutes on one of those, because that's going to be a big long haul thing coming up over the next few months. It's not all piled in one go. We've got the WSR Porsche Cup. That's coming up very soon. Next weekend that starts. We've got some Black Flag races in there as well, but that's part of the broadcast team for that as well. And obviously, as usual, we've got the usual weekly programming of the Black Flag racing stuff and the F1 stuff that we do. Right, so that's the housekeeping. Oh, and we have an endurance race on a Wednesday evening. 3 race series for Hypery, which started last week. 2 more races to go in that one. Anyway, 2 minutes 47 seconds left of qualifying, and Forza Ferrari is happy with that 16.9. He's sitting down, feet up, and he is very, very happy with that, and I would be too. Paggy is still on that front row, 117.0. Usually you see the 07 drivers kind of knocking around with each other, but Paggy and Toy is very far apart in terms of qualifying time at the moment. Row 2 is Ryan and Braid Train. Wolsey and Harley on row 3. Ash, who has crashed his car and needs to put it all back together like Lego, is with Scuba on row 4. Row 5 is Dunners and Connor. Toys and Cameron on row 6. Row 7 is Fingers and Baguette, who crashed on their first hot lap, didn't get to set a time. So, who is, I think pretty much everyone. I think Paggy's still in the pits. If Paggy doesn't come out soon, they're not going to get to set another faster lap. Maybe they're happy with front row next to Forza Ferrari. Right, so format for this evening, if you haven't watched it before, is very simply, you have 2 races. We have the first is a 25% race, which will be 13 laps, I think. 13, 14 laps, I think 25% around here. And then we take the top 10 and we reverse that grid, and then we do a 50% race, which, if the first one's 13, would be, by math's sake, a 26 lap race. And then we sort the men for the boys and we hand out some points, and then we all go for beers and high five each other and congratulate each other on a job well done. Well, we do. What will probably happen is Cameron will crash, and then everyone else will have a race. Or there or thereabouts. Okay, so if you're not on a hot lap now, or not heading towards the line now, if you're not halfway around the track now, you are not setting a hot lap in this race, and your qualifying is done. It's already done for Forza, but he is on pole with a 16.9. It's done for Ryan. He's currently sitting third with a 17.630, just 0.3 quicker than Paggy. And Harley puts in a 1:16.8. And we were talking about Nathan, that's Forza Ferrari, of course, beating Harley. He has to beat them in, I think, 1 of 3 sessions. And I would have said he was a bang and shoe in qualifying to do that. And Harley said, absolutely frickin' not, mate. And he even used that weird hybrid accent, because that's how he talks, apparently. But a 1:16.8 for him, and that puts him on pole, and he can go and touch himself quite comfortably now, and congratulate himself for being a very, very clever boy. Paggy drops out of the front row, is on row 2 with Ryan. Braid Train going quick. Well, that doesn't look super quick, but can they do anything to get themselves off of row 3 and into row 1 or 2? Currently sitting row 3 with Connor, who is done. Wolsey is done on row 4 with Axe, who's also done. Scuba and Cameron are done. They're on row 5. As Braid Train, who was it? Someone's gone faster somewhere. I think that's Dunners. Dunners has put in a quicker lap. So it's Braid Train from Connor now on row 3. Wolsey and Dunners on row 4. Row 5 is Action Scuba. I think it was Scuba actually did push themselves up into 10th. Cameron in 11th on the row 6 with Toys. So Toys and Fingers are right next to each other. And Cameron is going to be playing with the Toys and the Fingers today. And Baguette, unfortunately, didn't get to set a lap because Baguette is dead. He's been scraped up, and we are going to put him in a little bag and just leave him on the side for his family to collect him later. That's not actually true. Okay, coolio. Right, let's have a full rundown of how we got on in qualifying. Right, so Harley in the Haas from Great Britain finished in position number 1. He will be on pole. Be joined on the front row by the Scottish driver Forza in the Ferrari. The 2 Australians, Paggy and Braid Train, are on row 2. Paggy in the Mercedes, Braid Train in the Aston Martin. Ryan in the Mercedes and Connor from Scotland in the Haas are on row 3. Row 4 is Wolsey and Banners from Great Britain in the AlphaTauri and the Alpine. Action Scuba from United Kingdom in the McLaren and the Alpine are row 5. Row 6 is Cameron in the Red Bull, Toys in the Ferrari, Fingers in the McLaren is 13th, and Baguette, who's clearly not French because that's a British flag, in the Williams, DNF'd in that qualifying and starts in this race in 14th position. We are ready. We are ready to go. That was ridiculous. I thought I'd try it anyway. Right, so formation lap, of course. Everyone will do one little lap around, line up and get ready to go. Connor's car just spun off to one side, maybe practicing for the start, maybe. But we'll see. So, it's Harley from Forza, it's Paddy from Bray Train, then it's Ryan and Connor, Wolsey and Dunners, Ash, Scuba, Cameron, Toys, Fingers. I just had a beep in my ear for no apparent reason. Toys, Fingers, and then Baguette. I have a feeling, I have this really, really horrible feeling I'm going to have to try and change mics because I think the batteries are going in this one. If it beeps again, I will make the attempt. The thing is, I think my other mic isn't working very well. We'll see. We'll see. I did have this plugged in overnight, but I turned the computer off and it doesn't really charge when it's not plugged into a computer. That's kind of a problem. But anyway, moving swiftly on. What have we got for ourselves this evening? We've got some interesting things like...
my dog stepped on a bee.
And you've got to pull the face. You've got to pull the face when I say it, otherwise it doesn't count. Of course, we've got, as usual, we'll be joined at some point for some advice on fueling from...
How dare you!
Of course, she'll be along to tell us about fueling tactics at some point throughout this race. Such a child, such a freaking child. Right, we're going to start on board this particular time. Let's go with Wolsey. Yeah, let's go with Wolsey. I'm quite fancy seeing what he can give us from the start. So, Wolsey currently sitting on row 4 with Dunners. Good place to see how it starts. I don't know why it's sending me that far back. We are 5 lights out. Why has it sent me that far back? Damn thing. Oh, there we go. That's much better. That's 4. That's 5 lights. And we are away. Yes, we are. And I don't know why. When I go to Wolsey, look at that. There's a great shot though coming down to turn 1. Look at that shot. That is amazing. All the cars coming through. Absolutely love that. If I could control that camera, that would be awesome. So Wolsey makes some big moves up to 5th initially, but then to 6th. Forza away well, gets ahead of Harley into the lead of this race. Ryan up to 3rd place. Paggy is in 4th. Connor running in 5th position. I'm going to bring this up a little bit because I want to make sure we've got some car sounds in there. All very important to have some car sounds in there. So Paggy in 5th place. Wolsey up to 6th. Bray Train in 7th. Toys in 8th. That's a big jump from Toys. Cameron in 9th. Fingers has made a big move up into 10th place as Cameron getting ahead of Toys into 8th place. Scuba and Dunners drop down. Axe drops right down, and Baguette is still adrift in 14th place. We'll have a look at position changes just so we can see how people are doing. Fingers, Toys and Cameron doing really well, up 3 places. Big loss for Bray Train, down 3. Dunners down 5. It's not going well in Castle Alla Dunners right now, who is down to 13th place. Tyre choice. Tyre choice is important. I could go through each car and find out. Gonna switch mics now and see if this works. Hold the line, caller. Right, I've had some problems with this mic in the past. Hopefully this is working okay, and I do want feedback on whether this is coming across nice and clearly to all of you out there in YouTube land. That thing can stop beeping in my ears now. Yeah, it doesn't matter if I can hear you or not hear you. I will plug it in while I'm waiting. Then I can do the interviews at the end of the race, of course, which is always pretty cool. And I say that, and then I'll probably comment on. I think it depends whether I can be bothered or not at the end of the race. So hopefully this microphone is working, although it has had a few issues, which is why I've been switching to the other microphone. And who is coming in through my front door drunk? I think it's my firstborn. It is my firstborn, strolling in drunk. What time do you call this? Coming home from work and you finished at 5 o'clock?
I finished at 3 actually.
You finished at 3 and you're in at 9:30.
What's your point?
My point is, can you walk straight?
I think so.
Okay, good. And where's the kebab?
I ate it.
Right, anyway, moving on, swiftly on. Right, so, Forza leading the way. By 1.1 seconds, got ahead of Harley and has made that move stick. Harley running in 2nd. Connor is in the other halves and he's running in 3rd position. DRS is now enabled here. Lap 3 of 18. I said 13, didn't I? I meant 18. I meant that. It was an honest mistake to see if anyone will correct me. No one did, but there we go. We've got Ryan, Bray Train, Baguette and Toys all in the pits. And what do you know? What do you know? Who is already a DNF? Dun, 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 dun. Of course, it's Cameron. Cameron is already a DNF after 1 lap. It is what it is. So, top 5 runners, all on soft compound tyres. They've got to make them work by opening up a gap, and they've done exactly that. Wolsey is in 5th place, and Fingers 5.7 seconds back in 6th. His teammate Axe in 7th. 2.3 back, but on the soft compound tyres. So needs to close up that gap on the back of Fingers to make those soft tyres work as best as possible. Dunners and Scuba in the Alpines, 8th and 9th. Ryan in the Mercedes-Benz is in 10th. Bray Train in the Aston Martin in 11th. Fastest lap's been traded 1 for 1 by Forza and Harley right there out in front. Baguette moves up into 12th position ahead of Toys, who is 12.3 seconds back. And Cameron is already a DNF. And Harley makes that move on Forza up into the lead of this race. And that's a great move to take back that lead that he lost from the start. And already he had to close down a 1.1 second lead in lap 3 to get that. And he has chucked in fastest lap of the race and got himself up ahead. Good movement from him. His teammate Connor, so at the minute Forza sandwiched between 2 Haas, and he's going to get double teamed by them if he's not very careful, and I hope he washes afterwards because it's going to be filth. Connor is 2.2 seconds back. So Toys turned into you. So you had fingers and toys behind you. I can't say this with a straight face. So you had fingers and toys behind you, and toy went into you and you hit a wall. Okay. Essentially, this could be an OnlyFans. This could literally be an OnlyFans commentary. Anyway, back to the racing. Harley and Forza lead the way. Connor in third. I can't take it seriously. Sorry, I can't. Harley with another fastest lap, just starting to open up that gap now. Paggy in fourth, Woolsey in fifth position. They're both out of DRS zone of the car ahead, although Woolsey just nipping back in there. Will need to stay in there if he wants to try and make some inroads into that top four. Those 5 front runners, though, all on the soft compound tyres, are 7.7 seconds ahead of Fingers, who is just in front of Dunners by 0.6 of a second. And we can see there that Dunners is sandwiched between 2 McLarens at the moment. Fingers ahead, Axe behind, and can they work together to either get Axe past Dunners or get Fingers further up the road? At the moment, it just looks like Dunners is putting the pressure on the back of Fingers and making it very, very difficult for him at this stage. We've got to say, it's going to be hard to keep him at bay. And Dunners does get a little bit squirrely. Did he get tapped by Axe, maybe? I don't think so. Axe was a little bit too far back. Dunners gets a little bit squirrely, just flicking that back end, but does keep the car on the road, keeps the Alpine going. Bray Train picks up a penalty, as does Ryan in these early stages. But Axe on those soft compound tyres can't catch Dunners. Now, Akshay said to me, before he told me I'm the best commentator ever, so I'm going to be nicer to him. What was he said? Keep an eye on me, mate. In the race, I got speed. No, you haven't, mate. All right. Right. So in the pits goes Forza, Connor, Woolsey, Harley, Dunners, Axe, Paggy. Everyone's in, and Fingers is in the lead at the moment, of course. How much of a gap can Fingers pull out to give himself an opportunity for a bit of an undercut, or sorry, an overcut? It can't be that hard to mix up overcut and undercut, can it, really? So just Dunners on the soft compound tyres, and everyone else opting for mediums. Obviously the soft tyre runners have gone on the mediums. They've got him because of the safety car, of course. Don't know why we've got a safety car, because nobody has crashed since Cameron did, but we do anyway. Should pay attention more to things like that. Sorry, I was still laughing about the fact that Cameron had some toys in him. He managed to avoid Fingers and got some toys in him when he crashed. You wouldn't think I was a grown man with the grown-up children, would you? You'd think I was some sort of 15-year-old boy that had never seen a boob. So, the main reason they all went in when they did, those soft tyre runners, is because of the safety car, and obviously it gives you a nice cheap pit stop. And if my son leaves that back door open again and I freeze to death, I'm going to murder him. And I know that I've just admitted it live on YouTube, and I don't actually care, because he will have deserved it, and I'll get off just because people will realise what a bell end is. Oh, Harley spun, did he? I suppose that would make sense. He's down in 7th, and yeah, you're up in 2nd. I didn't see it happen though, so yeah, I can't have eyes everywhere. I love this shot. This shot coming down to turn 1 is awesome. I really, really like this shot. I wonder if I can get it again. I can't get it again. So Fingers does lead the way. Everyone's going to tuck in behind him. I tell you what, when he does finally pit, if it's this close when he goes in, he's going to be in trouble. He's going to absolutely tank down the order. If we look as well, he's the only one that's not been in for a pit stop yet. Yeah, you know, credit to him. He hasn't crashed or anything and had to repair anything. But if we don't have another safety car, it's going to be in trouble. Trouble. But the McLaren currently leads the way. And do you know what? It's hard to be pissed off when you see a McLaren leading a Grand Prix, even if it is tucked in behind a safety car. And I'll tell you what, this season, it's not going to be an unusual sight for us to see an Aston Martin at the front of a pack of Formula One cars this year. I would absolutely love to see Alonso win another Drivers' Championship in an Aston Martin. It would be freakishly amazing. However, I do wish that 6 months ago I'd had the foresight to put some money on him being able to do that. Anyway, safety car comes in, and Fingers will become the de facto safety car. It will be down to him to manage these guys through that final turn, and then decide when he gets his foot down. Now, the earlier you do it, the more difficult it is for the car up front, because you're giving up slipstream to essentially 13 cars, all tucked in behind you, and it's very difficult to keep these guys at bay. Does he go yet? It looks like he has, and he's got Forza and Connor tucked right in there. And actually they caught Paggy sleeping a little bit. And here comes Forza. He goes up the inside. He goes to make the move. He makes the move. Forza takes the lead into turn one. It's just such a long run down there. It's so hard to defend against. And Forza back into the lead. And his rival up there, Harley, is down in 7th position. Fingers trying to maintain second. Connor round the outside, makes that move in the Haas, and Fingers starting to drop through the order now, although that Haas goes very, very wide to make that move stick, but does hold on. So Paggy's the next target trying to make a move on Fingers. Can they get something done? It feels like a bit of a journey. Bearing in mind that Fingers is actually my friend. It feels a little bit like a Judas watching him get absolutely burned by lots of cars. But, solid, who cares? Here comes Paggy. Paggy makes that move. Fingers drops another position down to 4th place. In fact, let's watch this whole thing and make a video that just call it the demise of Fingers and put it up on YouTube. Fingers getting butt fucked by 15 cars at Mexico. Excuse me. Wolsey is the next target for him. He's in the AlphaTauri. Behind is Ryan and Harley battling it out for 6th. As Bray Train dropping down through the order as he goes into the pits at the end of lap 9. We are bang on the halfway point here. Harley is in 7th. Had a spin, I'm reliably informed by my on-track reporter, Forza Ferrario. And that's how he speaks in real life. So Harley is making a move. Can he make it stick? At the moment, he's got those 2 McLarens of Action Fingers really trying to get involved with him. But Fingers now down to 8th place. So he was in the lead of this race when the restart happened and is already down in, 9th. As Dunners makes the move on him too. Is he going to be tanked? I thought he was going to get swallowed up when he went into the pits. I think he might get swallowed up long before that. Very, very wide he goes. Through goes Baguette. Through goes Toys. And Fingers is through goes Scuba as well. And Fingers now down into 12th place. Bray Train's 18 seconds back. But at this rate, it'll only be a lap or 2 before he catches Fingers. We've lost Cameron from this race halfway through, of course. DRS is enabled. Not going to do anything for Connor. He's over a second behind Forza. Paggy's over 2 seconds behind Connor. Wolsey, 1.3 seconds behind Paggy. Harley, up to 5th now, 1.6 behind Wolsey. He's got Ryan tucked in nicely there. Ryan will get a little bit of that DRS help to keep up with him, as will Ash behind him and Dunners behind him. And that is Scuba dropping down the order. Is he facing in the right direction? Well, yes, he is, but I get the feeling that he wasn't initially. So Dunners in 8th place, we said, and Baguette up to 9th. Remember, Baguette didn't even set her lap in qualifying. So good movement from him, especially on his debut to move up in. I'm assuming it's him. It could be a she Baguette, but who knows. Up into 9th place and 1.8 seconds clear of Toys at the moment. Scuba in 11th, dropped down a little bit. Everybody on the racetrack, bar Axe, is running medium compound tyres. Now, I'm assuming that Axe is going to the end of this race on the hards. how long can they maintain the pace ahead of those cars behind on the medium tyres? As Forza Ferrari puts in another fastest lap. There's Bray Train in the Aston Martin, bringing up the rear of the pack right now. That gap is close to fingers by 4 seconds almost already. Just a couple of laps later on, he's now only 14 seconds back. But Forza leads the way, 1.5 seconds, 1.3 seconds right now, but it was 1.5 when I started saying, there we go, 1.5 seconds clear of Connor in the Haas. He is 2.4 seconds clear of the Australian Paggy in the Mercedes-Benz, and his teammate Ryan is back in 6th position at the moment, 2 seconds behind Harley. Harley trying to find a way around Wolsey. He was battling with Forza a few laps ago, then spins. Now he's trying to find a way around Wolsey to try and make a fight for the top 4. Can he find a way through? Because Wolsey has this really good ability of keeping cars behind him. Excuse me. Even cars that have a little bit more pace, he's very good at defending his Wolsey, even when he's had a few mud risers. Just seems to be quite good at keeping those apexes on point. But the AlphaTauri at the moment of Wolsey just keeping that Haas of Harley at bay as they come round to start lap number 13. This will leave us with just 5 laps and this current lap remaining. We'll see that rear wing open. There it is. There's the rear wing open as he closes on the AlphaTauri, goes up the inside, breezes through. That's such a long straight. The DRS is so strong there. And Harley moves up into 4th position and makes that move stick. Next target is Paggy, 1.7 seconds up the road. And it's going to be a task to catch for the top 3. So let's have a full rundown, shall we? Forza Ferrari are now 2.5 seconds clear of Connor in the lead of this race in, strange enough, the name like Forza Ferrari is the Ferrari. Connor in the Haas running in second, and the gap now 2.8 seconds. But as Connor puts it into the wall, and that is a devastating smash.
You can't park that there, mate.
You cannot park that there, mate. He's down to 7th. Strangely, he's still alive. The car is still alive. And he makes a move on Dunners. He makes a move on... Well, what is going on here? I mean, it's a safety car. And he's able to dive past all these cars to get back to the pits. He's definitely not got a front wing on that car. Absolutely not, no. No front wing for him. That looked like a much bigger smash than the damage on the car would suggest. And he's able to just, under this safety car... try and nurse that car home, and in he comes. He's going to lose some positions here, though, getting that new front wing on. Ahead of him, Ryan comes in for a new set of boots. I'm imagining that Fingers is going to come in. He needs to come in and change out his tyres. He's only used, to this point, we've done 11 laps on those medium tyres, 12 laps now on those medium tyres. He can't surely take those to the end, can he? No, he can't. He puts on the soft compounds to run to the end of this race. So... the race essentially gets nullified at this point, and they all tuck in behind the safety car. We pick up the bits of the car that were left on the racetrack, but I've got to say, that smash, I was sure that was going to lead to a full retirement. But credit to him, I don't know how he's managed to do it, but he's managed to not die. And his car's managed to live, and he's got it into the pits. So he is going to get some points if he can just use some pace. But lap 13 of 18 here at the Mexico Grand Prix, Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. And I bet my daughter's going to look at me funny because I can't speak Spanish properly. And she is absolutely looking at me funny because I tried to speak Spanish and it didn't go well. Forza Ferrari leading from Paggy. Harley in 3rd. Wolsey in 4th. Dunners running in 5th. Baguette is in 6th. Axe in 7th. Toys is in 8th ahead of Scuba. Scuba Duba. Bray Train is rounding out that top 10. Then we've got Ryan in the other Mercedes-Benz, Connor in Haas, and Fingers in the McLaren in 13th place. We have lost just one driver so far, and that is Cameron. And we've lost Cameron because some toys went into him. He was trying to avoid the Fingers, and some toys went into him, and he crashed into a wall. Quick blast of the vapey. So this race will finish in 5 laps time. Safety car not coming in that last lap. Hopefully, touch wood, come into the next lap, and then we'll get a few laps of racing before the end. Then we'll take that top 10 reverse grid and we'll flip it around. And if it stays as it is, Ryan will lead the way from Bray Train, then Toys, and Axe, then Baguette. Baguette's doing really well, actually. Qualified in last place, now up to 6th position, which is not bad at all. That is actually a picture of Baguette as well. That's the picture they put on the Discord profile. That's a selfie they took at a bread shop. And I do realise I could be forcing people to not hang around. To be fair, I couldn't abuse Dino again this week. He got all the abuse for his little crybaby antics before last week, and I had to put something in the spot where Dino's crybaby was on the stream deck. So we got a Baguette and a silly little French song. Petty Rage of the week, right? I really like drinking Desperado, but the little bottles of Desperado are just too freaking little, so I buy the big bottles. The problem is it takes so long to drink them, especially when I'm broadcasting, that they're fucking warm by the time we get halfway through. And if you put them in the fridge for a bit, then they get flat. So essentially I drink half a cold beer and half a warm beer when I drink a Desperado, which pisses me off a bit, but it is what it is. I do want to give a shout out actually to the Black Country GT riders as the safety car comes in and the race restarts. We'll do this in a minute actually about Black Country GT. So Forza Ferrario leads them out after the safety car and catches everybody by surprise. 1.3 seconds by the time he gets into the braking zone in turn 1. And Scuba retired from this session. Was that damage or was that just had enough of this shit? Harley in second, back up to second place. That's taken some effort from Harley to get up there, but demonstrates some phenomenal pace from Harley to get back up there. Paggy in third position, still running really well in that Mercedes-Benz. Wolsey up into fourth with Dunners just behind. It's not too far back, 1.3 seconds. Baguette's done now 12 laps on those medium tyres. Has got to try and drag those to the end of this race. Ash, still waiting for that speed you promised me, man. That speed you promised me. 9 laps you've done now on those hard compound tyres, but easily should take them to the end. The problem is the cars behind you now are tucked in a lot closer and have grippier tyres. There is Toys, who may be subject to a penalty. I don't know. I didn't see it. But from the news I've heard, potentially Toys might be looking at a steward's inquiry. Ryan in 9th place is half a second back on those soft compound tyres and could be putting some silky moves on the Toys if the opportunity presents itself. And I'll tell you what, with a bit of DRS here, it could very well present itself at the end of this long straight. Not quite close enough. In fact, further out. I don't know why he's further out. Maybe because we haven't got DRS yet. But Toys goes very wide. Through goes Ryan. And Toys has to say oops. Because Fingers also manages to slide through there when Toys goes wide. So the two soft tyre runners of Ryan and Fingers moving through the order. Next target, of course, will be Ash on those hard compound tyres. Connor at the rear saved the smash of the season and managed to repair that car. Much to my surprise. Very surprised. I'll tell you what, it's this.
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to fucking acknowledge it.
Yeah, I acknowledge it. Absolutely, Sam, I acknowledge it. Because I thought he had died. And I thought not only were we going to have safety car, but we were going to have, like, tributes, and we'd have to buy flowers and you know, get up and talk about our feelings. But it turns out, actually, he saved it, took the car back and put some... oh! There's a shunt into the back of Toys. What happened there in that braking zone? Connor absolutely melts the back of Toys. Now, was Toys going incredibly slowly for Connor to hit him as he did? Well, his package just picked up a penalty for corner cut. Sorry, Toys picked up a penalty for corner cutting. What went on there? Because we saw them both coming into the corner. Toys is now retired from this session. Now, was that a result of the shunt, Or was there something going on before that shunt that caused the shunt to happen? Because Harley absolutely melted the back of Toys there, spinning him right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round. As the words of the song go. And Connor in 11th place, and again, he's still not broken. How is he not smashed this Haas to smithereens? I'll tell you what, if he was actually driving for Haas, Gunther Steiner would be apoplectic in the pits right now. It would definitely be like 2 episodes worth of him just saying fuck for Drive to Survive off the back of that. So anyway, lap 17 of 18, or in fact now lap 18 of 18 at the Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez in Mexico. Arriba. Forza Ferrari leads the way. 1.9 seconds clear of Harley's fought his way back into second position valiantly, and probably would deserve driver of the day for it if I wasn't going to give it somewhere else. No, I don't know, we'll see. Paggy in third place has basically spent most of this race floating around sort of third, fourth, but comfortably doing so in that Mercedes-Benz. Dunners has made their way up into fourth place in the Alpine. Can they close in any significant way on Paggy? Well, at the moment, Paggy's got a penalty. That should put Dunners in safely into that top 3. Wolsey just behind, half a second back from Dunners. If he can pull some of those moves that he has on Dunners, then maybe, just maybe, he can go into the top 3 when Paggy serves that penalty. Although at the moment, Paggy are doing everything in their power to open up that gap. And there is a 3-second time penalty for Baguette, who is up to 6th position. So here we go. This is your race leader, Forza Ferrari, round the final turn, avoiding those walls, getting back on that power, heads to the start finish line and wins the first race here at Mexico. Harley comes home in second. Paggy will come home in third place. Dunners in fourth. Wolsey fifth. Baguette in sixth. Ash will come home in 7th position. Ryan in 8th. Connor in 9th. Bray Train in 10th. And Fingers will come home in 11th. And we'll see where it all finishes with penalties. Dunners not quite enough to breach that penalty. How you doing, Drew? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. There's your winner, though. Forza Ferrari, or driver of the day, Dunners. To be fair, he did make some good inroads up that order. Although I think a special mention for Harley for crashing and then coming back into second. Great race there. Winner. Chicken dinner for Forza Ferrari. And that's actually what he looks like. That's his actual face. How long do I think otherwise? Wouldn't it be nice if Ferrari gave Charles Leclerc a car capable of doing that? I think they're kind of there or thereabouts. They're certainly a lot closer than Mercedes are. But it's got to be quite embarrassing for Ferrari that as they get better and better and better, they're not quite getting there, and then Aston Martin come in a Mercedes engine and then mug them off. I'd be embarrassed if I was working at Ferrari. But I think the problem with Ferrari is they've had such poor management over the last few years that it makes it very difficult to improve things when your management is so piss poor. Anyway, there is the full rundown. Forza Ferrari in the Ferrari, of course, from Scotland, wins that race over Harley in the Haas. Australian Paggy finishes much ahead of Bray Train, the other Australian, in the Mercedes-Benz in third place. Fourth was Dunners in the Alpine. Fifth was Wolsey in the AlphaTauri. Baguette, not French, even though the name is Baguette, in the Williams Racing Car in sixth. I've got to stop saying it like that. Action in the McLaren, I thought you were going to be quick, mate. Finishes in 7th. 8th for Ryan in the Mercedes-Benz. Connor in the Haas in 9th position. Bray Train in 10th in the Aston Martin. Fingers is the last finisher in the McLaren. We lost Toys in the Ferrari after shunt from Connor that I think needs to be looked at. And I have a feeling there was an issue with Toys before it happened, because Toys was going incredibly slowly to being shunted like that. So I think that needs to be looked at. I know there's an issue apparently between Toys and Cameron, where the Toys went into Cameron and it made him jump and hit the wall. Scuba also a DNF in the Alpine, and Cameron did his usual thing of turning up, doing a lap, and then retiring. So there we go. That's the order we finished in for race number 1. We will return for a 50% race for race number 2, which will come up relatively shortly. People need to load back into the room, of course, and do their ablutions, and I'm sure a few people nip out for a fag or a drink or whatever they're doing, and then we'll come back in. So there we go. I will be back very, very shortly because I'm going to go for a wee-wee. I'm back in the room, and I do hope anyone that's listening can tell me that this microphone is working better. It was fucked the other day, and I switched microphones, but I'm hoping. I downloaded all the new software and shit, so hopefully it's fucking working properly again. But we'll see. We will see. Anyway, while we're waiting for everybody to get ready for race number 2 and the reverse grid shizzle to get going, let's have a talk about the week coming up on Black Flag Racing TV. Tomorrow, we are back with the Staying Power Endurance Series, which has had absolutely phenomenal uptake. We have struggled, actually, to find places for everybody interested. We're actually at the stage now, we're on round 4 of a 10-race series, and we're turning people away that have already raced in the series because people are signing up so quickly. Good. Thank you very much for that, John Wolsey. I don't know why. The other day it was really crackly and I had to turn it off. So I've been using my headset mic, which is pretty damn shit. But I like this one because it makes me look like a podcaster because I've got one of them little things sticking up in front of it. It makes me feel like a pop star. So tomorrow we've got our endurance series, 2-hour endurance races throughout the series, and it's brought some brilliant racing. We've seen some people fight their way from last to first and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. This week, we are in Australia for Bathurst. Now, Bathurst is one of my favourite racetracks in the world. I absolutely love Bathurst. Excuse me. Now, one of the things I love most about it is, one, a lot of people don't know, it's a street circuit. It looks like a standard racing track, but it's actually a street circuit, and it's in the middle of a village, and actually there's houses all around. Now, the most exciting thing about it is that when there's a race on, you would think these people are trapped in their homes because their driveways essentially come straight off the racetrack. But they've actually built like an underground network of tunnels for the people that live there when they run the 24-hour events to be able to get in and out of their properties. It's just an awesome racetrack, and I think every race I've ever watched at Bathurst has been brilliant. And I think if I could pick any racetrack in the world to go to at any time, I think it would have to be Bathurst. I mean, one, because it means I get to go to Australia, which is literally the other side of the world, and I've never been. but also because it's just so iconic. But that's where we're racing tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. 2 hours. That starts from about 7:45. The shenanigans will start. The race will start at 8 o'clock. And it's a reverse championship grid. So if you've raced already in the championship, your position in the championship will dictate where you start. So the higher up you are, the lower down you'll start. If you're new to the championship, you don't automatically get a buy and go at the front because you've got 0 points. You start behind those that have already raced. Just for fairness. Anyway, that's it. That's all we've got for Saturday. Then we move on Sunday. Unfortunately, the Lithuanian National Championship is no longer being broadcast. And that's down to a number of... anyone that watched last season of the LRC Lithuanian Championship, it was full lobbies all the way through. The entirety of season 2, they would have people sitting outside the room not being able to get in to race alongside them. This season the uptake hasn't been great, and it's not been hugely popular with the group either, unfortunately. And so the decision's been taken to halt the broadcasting at the midway point, which is a shame because I really did enjoy doing it, but it's not something they really wanted to continue with. I think they're going to continue with the competition, but I think they're struggling to get the numbers in that competition. And a lot of the drivers now are going elsewhere to race outside of that community, which is fine. A number of them, of course, have come to Black Flag, which is great. And they'll be representing us in a number of different championships coming up. But, it's a crying shame. So, I am currently open on Sunday evenings, but I've got a couple of things in the pipeline I'm considering. One of them is actually just not broadcasting at all on a Sunday and organising an event that I can race in. We'll see. We will see how that goes. Usually what will happen is I'll think of something I want to do. We'll do it, and then a few people will turn up, and it'll be great, and then a new broadcast will come up, and I'll go off and do that. We'll see anyway, we'll see. Then Monday we're back with the new concept we've been trying out. We're trying out a small 5-week season with a thing that we call Gauntlet. And the premise of Gauntlet is that you don't know what races you're going to do. You don't know what car you're going to be using. You don't know what track you're going to be using. You don't know what the race requirements of that track are going to be. It's 3 20-minute races. That's all you know when you turn up. And then what happens is before each race, there is a randomizer, which I've built myself, which will randomise the class of car. It can be done per car, but we've done it per class because we appreciate that there are 1,000 cars in Gran Turismo, and it's very difficult to expect everybody to have all 1,000 cars. So it's done on a car class. I may later include specific cars in there that are more popular, but we'll see. But at the moment, it is literally based on car class. So you roll the car class, you roll the track, you roll the weather on that track, you roll the time dilation on that track. You then roll the settings of the tyres and the fuel and things like that. And we've ended up with races where your fuel is at times 1 and your tyres are at times 10. Now, we can go as much as times 50, but I've restricted it to times 10 because anything beyond that is just a ridiculous wear on tyres and fuel. And then we basically do 3 20-minute races, and each one has different settings each time. And the great thing about the first week, which we did last Monday, is that it's a great leveler in terms of, you've got... when you come into a lobby sometimes, you've got the mix of the great drivers, the drivers that always win, and the drivers that are always there or thereabouts at the back, and then you've got your kind of midfield. What this Gauntlet series has done is it's essentially taken those guys in the midfield and given them that opportunity to finish in the top 2, top 3, and those guys at the front and made them finish last. For instance, somebody that usually always finishes in the bottom 3 or 4 got not only their first podium, but finished second behind someone in one of the races. And we had someone another back marker finish just outside the top 4. And conversely, in that same race, we had someone who usually finishes in the top 3 or 4, finishing in the bottom 2 or 3. And I think that's the great thing about it. You don't have time. You don't have time to practice or plan or anything like that. You literally just have to get out there and race the track in front of you right there and then without the time to practice. You only get 1 shot qualifying on the first race. Every other race after that is done on reverse grid. which makes it even harder as well, because you know, if a fast guy qualifies well and gets a really good first race, they've then got to try and fight their way past other people for the next 2 races. We'll see over the weeks how that concept develops, but it's looking already to be quite an interesting concept. That's what's happening on Monday. Then Tuesday, we have a little break. We've got Smoking Pirelli's season's finished. So we won't be doing that on Tuesday at 7 p.m, but we will be back with race number 2, week number 2 for Late Night Racing League, which starts at 8:45 on Tuesday evening. You'll see a number of the guys in the room this evening will be featuring their fingers, and Ryan Dunners, of course, the reigning champion, Wolsey. We'll see in there. We'll see a number of these guys will be racing in that league as well. Interesting to see how this season develops. Dunner's already demonstrating why he's champion, and really solid finish from him in race number 1. Then Wednesday we're back with the GR3 Championship, back on GT7. The Black Flag GR3 Championship, which is coming to its culmination. I think one more race is needed for... no, actually, I don't think it is. I think it's two more races needed for Kevin to secure the championship. But PM10, after his holiday last week, comes back this week and didn't have the greatest of races. That little bit of ring rust after his little jaunt to the United States, and came back, and ironically on the United States racetrack just couldn't get the car as dialed in as he would like, and did struggle a little bit to get himself among the big points. So the gap at the top of the leaderboard has extended just a touch in that for Wednesday. Thursday we're back with just the Black Flag Rivals. Didn't broadcast it yesterday. I didn't have time to broadcast it yesterday. I had some stuff going on. Yesterday's race will be broadcast tomorrow. But we're back with I think the final round of Rivals next week, Thursday. Again, Smoking Pirelli's on a break until the new season starts. And then, of course, then we're Friday. And then we're back to this shit. We're back to the penultimate race number 11. Which gives us just 2 races remaining. One race remaining to the end of the season. And I think we're at the stage where I think if Forza wins both races today, I think he's pretty much uncatchable. Don't quote me on that. I could be horribly wrong. But I think he's there or thereabouts, pretty much uncatchable. So that's a week in the life of Black Flag. And I did say, of course, we've got lots of other really exciting stuff coming up over the next 2 or 3 weeks. As by the end of this month, we will have about 16 broadcasts a week across 2 different platforms. I am also in talks about potentially doing an iRacing thingy. I haven't done much work with it. I've looked at it, but I haven't done much work with it at all. So I'm still on the fence about iRacing, but we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, and obviously the big problem with iRacing is you need to buy all the bloody cars and all the tracks. So anything I do with them will be dependent on the party requiring my services to pay for that, because I'm not fucking doing it, because I don't race enough to justify spending several £100 on some fucking cars. So we are ready for race number 2 with the reverse grid type scenario. And what have you got to say about that, Greta?
You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words.
I do apologise for that, but we actually don't care. Where's my build-up music? I had some build-up music I was going to try and chuck in here and see what happened. I've lost it. There it is. That wasn't time quite so great as the first time I did it, was it? It's difficult because that piece of music is obviously like a couple of minutes long, but I can't. The countdown doesn't come until everyone's kind of ready to go, and you don't know that for a while anyway. So this is how it looks for the reverse grid scenario. Bray Train will lead Connor out from row 1. Row 2 will be Ryan and Ash. Baguette. Sorry, man. That'll be the last time you see it. No, I'm joking. Wolsey and Dunners will be on row... Baguette and Wolsey on row 3. Row 4 will be Dunners and Paggy. Row 5 will be Harley and Forza Ferrari. Fingers and Toys are together again on row 6. And Scuba and Cameron bring up the rear on row 7. Can Cameron last more than a lap this time? Can Forza fight their way through 10 cars or 9 cars to take the lead? Can Harley stay ahead of Forza and do that same job? Can Baguette take a maiden win in their first ever race? Like a rookie, absolutely smashing it. Show some really good pace in race number 1 to move through the order from last, so it's not unthinkable. Or will we see Axe demonstrate the speed that he bragged about on the broadcast during qualifying? Who knows? Who knows? We will find out in 36 laps where we stand. So Bray Train will lead us out. That is not your pit box, mate. There it is. Come on, come on. Forward, forward, stop. There we go. Right, let's go on board with Dunners from 7th on the grid. I wonder if I get a really cool shot. I did not get it. Yeah, I am. There it is. I love this shot. But I'm going to go on board briefly and then change to that shot as the lights go out. So we're just waiting for these lights and it won't be long. So 1 stop or 2 stop, hards and mediums or soft. Medium is the way to go. Come on, lights. What is going on? Where are the start lights, man? Do we have a problem? It looks like we might. Oh, there we go. I think whatever was wrong is sorted. So that's 5 lights. They'll go out and away we go. Good start from Paggy as we see them heading down. Love this shot. Down towards turn 1. Bray Train taken by Ryan. Taken by Connor. Forza up to 7th. Ahead of Harley. Ahead of Wolsey. Baguette tanking down that order. And then back up again into turn 1. Who is safely through? Pretty much everyone. Although there is a bit of carbon fibre just on the outside of turn number 1. And I think that might be a little piece of Bray Train. Because Bray Train started from pole, is now 4.2 seconds back in 14th place. But no safety car, which means we carry on. Ryan wins. He didn't win. He's winning this race at the moment. He is up into first position. He's got Dunners making some big moves. And that is Connor tanking down the order. I'm very sorry, my friend.
You can't park that there, mate.
Connor down to 12th. So Dunners now into 2nd position. Harley up to 3rd. Whatever happened with him and Forza earlier, he has made some big moves in that Haas and up into that top 3. And with the virtual safety car, Bray Train getting a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So how do we look after 1 lap under this virtual safety car? Ryan leads from Dunners. Harley up to 3rd. That's an amazing jump up from 9th position. Paggy in 4th. Toys up into 5th. Axe into 6th. Forza Ferrari up into 7th. Cameron is in 8th with Fingers in 9th. Baguette dropped down to 10th place and is in the pits, putting on a new front wing. So that didn't go too well. Bray Train in 10th place. Scuba in 11th. Baguette in 12th. Wolsey in 13th and 14th place is Connor. and Baguette, Wolsey and College just coming out of the pits now. VSC is over, of course, and we're back out on track and back racing. And at the moment, the Mercedes-Benz of Ryan is leading the way. And as a big Mercedes fan that Ryan is, he would absolutely love the fact that Mercedes is leading, and should get used to it, because it's the only time you're going to fucking see it this season, my friend. Especially if it's driven by your idol, Lewis Hamilton. I don't know why I get so much joy. I get so much joy out of abusing Lewis Hamilton. And the irony is, right, we'll go back to race in a second. The irony of that is, when I first found out what I know about Lewis Hamilton, that changed my mind about him. And when he first started racing, I was a big, massive Lewis Hamilton fan. Really kind of followed his career, loved what he was doing. And then I found out a couple of things about 4 years ago, about him and about Mercedes, and it completely changed the way I feel about him and the team. The thing about Mercedes was obviously that they were given a very exclusive sweetheart deal which guaranteed them dominance in the sport in order to entice them into the sport, which in itself is a bit of a shitty thing to do, but I see why the FIA did it when they did it. It kind of made sense. The problem that then comes off the back of that is that it's created Lewis Hamilton into this monster who gives this kind of impression that he was oh no, woe is me, and how hard it was when I was growing up because I was so oppressed and it was so difficult for me to do things. You know, I come from humble beginnings. But, you know, he tells all this great story about this poor little boy who against all odds made it to the pinnacle of Formula One. But he, from the age of 6 years old, was basically funded by Ron Dennis. One thing, and look, he was racing in karts at 6 years old, and he was doing well. I'm not suggesting for a minute. Let me be clear. I'm not suggesting for a minute that he's a rubbish racing driver. He is a very, very, very good. He's a top racing driver. Yeah, but he's not this poor little boy that's been oppressed and deserves 7 world championships. He was given the best racing car, and from the age of 6 years old, he was given the very best equipment by a very rich man who wanted to groom him to be a world champion one day. And I don't mean grooming in the nasty sense of the word, as Connor is out of this race. So he was given all the very best equipment in his entire career. And to be fair, he took that equipment and he did the job with it and got it done. But it's created this kind of monster where the British press kind of blow him up to be this kind of hero who has who against all the odds has been the best, but it's not the case. You know, it's very easy to win if everything you've got. You know, if Cristiano Ronaldo had to wear the plimsolls we wore at school to play football, and every other footballer got to wear all the right gear and the football boots and all that, he would still be good, but he wouldn't be as bloody good. And that's the thing. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't even know what I would have on that rant, but I've done it. It's done. Anyway, I think it's the sight of a Mercedes in the lead. But I felt I need to explain it anyway. So Ryan is in the lead of this race, and we're under another safety car. We've lost Connor from this race so far. Ryan leads from Dunners. Then it's Harley in third, Paggy in fourth position, Forza Ferrari in fifth, starting to work his way through as Ryan and Harley into the pits. Quite early they're into the pits as well, actually. Cameron in seventh. He has lasted 5 laps. That deserves, without question, there we go. That's for you, Cameron, for lasting more than 5 laps. Ryan in 6th place. He's back out of the pits, of course. Scuba in 7th. Harley and Fingers pitting, but they're out. Baguette up to 9th. Toys 11th. Bray Train 12th. Wolsey 13th. Connor is out of this race. So we're on lap 5 of 36. We are it's Friday evening, so of course Friday evening means one thing and one thing only. It means Eurotrips. Eurotrips F1. We're at the Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez, which basically means racing track of the brothers Rodriguez. If you speak Spanish. Obviously a Spanish person has never pronounced the name of the racetrack in the way that I just bastardised it, but I've never claimed to be the master of languages. This is Black Flag Racing TV. I'm, of course, Adam Barrett. brought to you by SimLeague Pro and our very glorious sponsors, Black Flag Racing and Club Leaf, sustainability partners. While we're waiting for the safety car to finish, I do want to give you a little bit of talk about. I don't talk about Club Leaf enough, right? They do loads. Club Leaf as a company do loads for Black Flag. Behind the scenes that you don't really see. And it's nothing to do with the sustainability part of the business, but they are a sustainability company. And ignoring the fact that in this country, the best fighter we've got for sustainability is that fucking idiot Khan, Mayor of London, who basically just wants to charge people £12.50 for getting in their cars because he thinks that's what will save the planet. No, it won't. It'll just make your friends rich, you stupid twat. But no, what Club Leaf do, they have an app that works all across Europe, and it helps a company to offset their carbon footprint. And they, a lot of their profit goes into sustainability projects like rebuilding rainforests and those kind of things, and bringing in solar panels and all that kind of stuff. So check them out, clubleaf.com I think it is, and just have a look at the sort of stuff they do all around the world, because it's definitely worth it. Unfortunately, they don't roll out in the UK because in the UK the sustainability thing is all about money and nothing else. There's no actually desire to be sustainable. It's just to appear to be sustainable and pay lots of money to do it. Okay, so we're waiting for this second safety car. Well, the first one was virtual, but this safety car to finish, and then we will get cracking again. We're on lap 6 of 30. We've got 30 laps to go. At the moment, Dunner's leading the way in the Alpine. He's got Paggy in that Mercedes-Benz behind him. Paggy has been very, very consistent in both races so far, knocking around in the top end of that order. And safety car coming in this lap, and you can see him just trying to get some heat into those tyres. Tyre choices, quite varied. Front 3 all on mediums, then Action Twitch Cameron on the hard compound tyres, Ryan running on the mediums, 2 more hards in Scuba and Harley, Baguette on the softs as the safety car peels off into the pits, and Dunners becomes the safety car. Excuse me. Let's go on board with Cameron, who is aching to get past Action, takes that inside line, and off they go, and it does allow him just to nick that place, and Ryan behind also takes that position, and Action getting swatted up, but through the middle he goes. Can he, through the middle, take back that 4th place? Round the outside he does it. What a move! What a move from Ash. He lost that place at the beginning of the restart, and then just powered on through the middle on those hard compound tyres and said, no way, Jose, that shit is mine.
Denied.
Absolutely denied. He is in 4th place. Dunners leads from Forza Ferrario, who's just, he's been phenomenal. Since, as the season's gone on, he's been strong all season. But I think Portimao was when the tide really turned for Forza. And I think he dominated that race by something like 15 seconds he finished ahead at Portimao. And since then, and especially with Dino going off and having his little cry, and I'm not racing anymore because I'm not allowed to crash into people. And since he's disappeared off doing that, it's just allowed Forza to run away with this champion. Not run away with it, but to kind of dominate at the top of the championship. And race after race, he just seems to be getting better and better and better. Him and Dunn are starting to pull away from Paggy in 3rd. And Paggy is trying to stick with them, but just out of that DRS zone already, which should be activated at the end of this, which is lap 8 of 36. We saw Ash lose out to Ryan and Harley initially, and then power through the middle and retake that 4th position. And he did claim he was going to be quick. He wasn't in so much in the first race, but now he's starting to demonstrate some great pace, particularly on those hard compound tyres. And at the moment, being where he's sitting on those hard compound tyres, hanging on longer than the cars around him, is going to be very, very good for him. Look, Ryan's gone in early. He is still in 5th place. He's on the medium tyres. He has some time on there. He has more grip on there. But he can't find a way around Ash. And all it's going to be doing is sitting in that dirty air, is taking grip out of those tyres, making you push more to get the fuel through the car and make those kind of moves. He'll really want to get ahead. But again, no opportunity to do so because it's yet another safety car. Who's facing in the wrong direction this time? Whoever it was is now not. So Forza comes in, pitting from the lead of this, second in this race, as is Paggy. They both come in from second and third. Dunners opts to stay out. There's still plenty of life in those tyres. Doesn't make sense to do so at this stage, particularly as we've had one virtual and two full safety cars in the first 9 laps of this race. Let's get your drink on board, why not? While we wait. So, pick a driver to talk about, because we talk a lot about Dunners in other streams. He's not getting it today. Actually showed some really good pace. Ryan and he's not the only one that runs it, but he's the main driving force behind this Euro Tripz, and does a lot of stuff on the side and stuff you don't see. But he's also a very good racer in himself. And, as someone who runs a racing team, or actually a racing league, and actually, to be fair, we started as a racing league, we're more of a racing team now that go out elsewhere and race. But as someone who kind of does that behind the scenes stuff on a daily basis, and I know how difficult it is to do it, from one competition, 2 competitions. This guy does it every Friday and gets this shit running, and still races and still performs up there in amongst the kind of top 10. You've got to give a bit of credit where it's due, my friend. Credit where it's due. And yeah, he's flawed. He thinks Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton are pretty good, but other than that, he's all right. He's all right. He does a good job. He's working hard. Those of you that are really interested in this kind of racing and are looking for sort of one-off tournaments, there is a new Formula 2 tournament starting on a Sunday evening. And I talked about me having Sundays free, but it just occurred to me that I won't soon, because we've got this new F2 one-off tournaments coming up, which start from the 1st of April, I think it is, or 2nd of April, where it's basically a series of races, one after the other, very short Formula 2 races in a tournament format, which will be broadcast, of course, live here on Black Flag TV. And it is run kind of in association with LNR, but it's kind of an LNR Black Flag kind of separate thing completely, really. But, we're obviously putting some Black Flag and putting some weight behind it in terms of Sim League Pro. It'll be the first F1 event run on Sim League Pro, who, if you do run a racing league, check them out. It makes it so much easier. There's so many leagues that I'm involved with that I see. You have to get the results and you have to work it out. You stick it in a spreadsheet and you put it in your own format and all that kind of thing. Sim League Pro do all of that for you. You just update it. You can copy and paste it. You can do whatever. You can download the CSV. You can do any format you want, and you can put in everything down to specific lap data. Split times, all kinds of things like that, and it does it all for you automatically. And the added bonus is it tracks player data across multiple competitions. So if you've got drivers that race in different competitions across Sim League Pro, it tracks their progress, so a player can see how they stack up against their peers. No, it's awesome. Check it out. Check it out. Look at me fucking plugging all the sponsors today. Do you know what it is? Because I'm skin. No, I'm joking. I'm not. It's not. Neither of my sponsors actually give me actual cash money. The stuff that I get from my sponsors is in the form of help and assistance and freebies and stuff. Anyway, so there goes the safety car. Dunners will lead them out and become the safety car, and he's caught everybody napping. 8 tenths of a second, shall I say, already ahead. It is starting to come down now as Axe jumps into that slipstream, but too little too late, and Dunners just catches them sleeping and gets to keep the lead of this race. Dunners 10 laps in on those medium tyres. Axe is on the hard tyres, but only 10 laps in, so can stretch this out to somewhere around probably lap 20. If they're clever. I mean, with the safety cars we've had, I don't think lap 20 is too much of an ask, to be fair. By then, pretty much everyone around, bar Harley and Cameron, will go in. So we'll see Dunners in, we'll see Ryan in, we'll see Forza. We're currently running in 6th on the soft compound tyres will go in. Ryan currently running in that top 3 on the medium compound tyres. Doing really well in that Mercedes-Benz. Harley, for me, is a big outside bet to win this race at the moment. Running on those hards. How long? This is the question. That's his biggest rival for this race, I think, in terms of pace today. Forza Ferrario. Can he keep Forza behind him while Forza's running on those soft compound tyres? The longer he holds Forza up, which is going to be difficult because I think Forza's going to make the move here. I'm talking about how long can he hold him up. I think it's too late already. He's tucked in behind. Will he make the move this time round? Maybe not. Well, he's looking up the inside. He had a little look, but not this time. But I think when DRS returns, if Forza's that close, it's a moot point. There's nothing Harley's going to be able to do to stop him. But if he can keep him behind him for the majority of the race otherwise, then it might be in a good position. And Forza having another look and another look. Just look at this. You'll see just how he's looking at every time he's putting his car in a position to make the move. He makes the move there up the inside. That double right-hander apex. And he makes that move up the inside and up into 4th. It's almost as though he was listening and felt goaded to chuck one up the inside. And Ryan is retired from this race. Which way is he facing? Not the correct way, I can tell you that. He is out of this race. And that's yet another safety car here at Mexico. To be fair, if we have any more safety cars, this race is going to take about 12 hours to complete. I'm exaggerating a little bit. So 12 laps in, we have 2 retirements, Ryan and Connor. We are on safety car number 3, or safety period number 4. So 3 safety cars, 1 virtual safety car, yeah. So all the work that Forza's doing to make the positions up, all the work that Dunners is doing to stay in the lead, just seems to be for naught at the moment, because every time something starts to happen and moves start to be made, someone else crashes or blows up or hits a wall or hits somebody else or retires and we get another safety car. And I think I'm very critical of GT7, right? As you will hear on my GT7 stream. And the reason being is that there's so much stuff on GT7 that is so phenomenal that the stuff that goes wrong seems worse because of how phenomenal the good stuff is, right? With F1, the graphics are good. They're not phenomenal, they're good. The sound's good, the immersion is good. The lobbies are really stable. In comparison to GT7, I would say the lobbies are more stable. But then they've got stupid things like this. Like, only 2 cars are out of this race, but we've had 4 safety cars. How the fuck does that make any fucking sense? If a car spins round and then goes back on the track, in reality, you don't get a safety car. So, surely, if you can program graphics that look like this, and the sound, and the immersion, and the VR, and everything else that goes into all this kind of thing, surely you can tell a computer to recognise the difference between a dead, crashed car and a car that's turned and faced in the wrong direction and rights itself, and do the safety cars properly. I don't know what they are. Look, I'm not a coder, right? But I've spoken to enough people that do it to know that it's possible to code it in a better way. I don't know. Someone give me the answers, because I don't fucking know what they are. You should be, man. You were doing so well today. Absolutely so well. Them's the breaks when you were racing. I'm actually surprised. I don't know many F1 leagues who just race without damage. It'd be interesting to see what that would look like, because then that's just purely damage. I think the one thing, if you've not got damage, I think people are going to be chucking cars up the inside willy-nilly and making crazy moves, and spinning people out and all sorts of stuff like that. But it would be fun to see like a balls out race with no damage on, and see where people slot into that. Because I imagine there are people out there that are super quick, but just not very good at kind of judging distance to the car in front. I think that's maybe the kind of what separates GT, sort of GT racing games like Assetto Corsa and Gran Turismo and others from the Formula One games, is that the damage models are very different, and obviously damage in Formula One is terminal, where you can melt the front of your car in a GT car and still survive for the race. But there we go, I suppose it is what it is. Right, so safety car in again, lap 14 of 36. There are 22 laps remaining. I did that math in my head and everything, like a bad man. Yeah, but I think it'd be quite fun though. So Dunners leads the way again, becomes de facto safety car again. Let's see. Forza is on the soft compound tyres. Dunners again catches Axe sleeping, and but he doesn't catch Forza. Forza makes that move. He is straight up there like a rat up a drain pipe, and he is off after Dunners. He didn't see Dunners. Didn't miss Dunners getting away. Axe did. Harley didn't either. Cameron with a penalty. So if he's not crashing or retiring, he is getting penalties. I don't know why I'm picking on you, Cameron. You don't deserve it. But get got in race number 1. It's your turn now. So Dunners leads the way. Who's that going slowly? That is Toys going incredibly slowly. 7 seconds back slowly as well. We're always watching these guys out front, but that's where the action is. So Forza on the soft compound tyres. Can they pull a move on Dunners? Dunners leading the way at the moment in the Alpine, trying desperately to hold Forza Ferrari off. Now 14. Oh, that's a spin! Forza facing in the wrong direction.
You can't park that there, mate.
Does get back underway, but the cars were so close. It's cost him so much time. Maybe he just wanted to meet his teammate who was at the back of the pack. So does spin back into 11th position. That's a lot of work now for Forza to do to regain something from this race. And it is advantage Harley. Not you, dog. The one that's racing on the racetrack. It would be funny if it turned out it was actually my dog that did it. So Dunners leads the way from Harley. 7/10 of a second. And Toys now retired from the session. So Forza went all the way back there to see what a teammate Toys was doing. And it turns out they were retiring. So, yeah, Forza's got some big work to do. Axe into 3rd place. I take back what I said in the first race about you not being as quick as you think you are. You're doing all right this time, my friend. You're doing all right. As is Cameron in the Red Bull. Under significant pressure, though, from Paggy in the remaining Mercedes-Benz. The one that didn't crash and is now watching from a distance. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, man. Paggy. Oh! Hits the back of the Red Bull. They both crash. Are they going to get back on the track? Well, the Red Bull is back underway. But Paggy is not. That was a big shunt. And again, see, this just goes to show how stupid the safety car mechanics is in this race. If you're going to put a safety car out, you put it out for 2 cars hitting each other, right? Wrong. You don't. You enable DRS. But a car spins, faces the wrong direction, carries on racing. 5-lap safety car. Fucking idiots. Right, anyway, so that changes the complexion slightly because Cameron was doing so well. And now where is Cameron? There is Cameron in 7th. Paggy, who shunted Cameron into the pits, of course, to change out those 8-lap old soft tyres and probably replace that front wing. Yes, replace that front wing. I'm assuming there's not significantly enough damage on Cameron to cause a problem. They are still ahead of the Ferrari of Forza, of the Ferrari-all, who won race 1 quite significantly, but now, well, I say significantly, it wasn't that much, but comfortably is the word I'm looking for. Scuba 1.1 seconds back. Paggy is miles back at the moment. But still, Dunners leads this race. Excuse me, 16 laps now on those medium tyres. I think it's the fact we've had so many safety cars is allowing Dunners to stay on those mediums for that little bit longer. And it will make a difference because the longer you can take the medium tyres into this race, at this stage, the shorter amount of time you have to spend on the less grippy, less reliable hard compound tyre. Whereas Harley, conversely, is on the hards. But actually, you have to wonder whether Harley is in the position that they've saved enough they can take it straight to softs. I think it really depends on how much saving has been able to be done. Again, I apologise for this cough. It's been creeping up on me all week and making me feel like I've been smoking 40 fags a day, when actually I've been giving up for a while now. Tell you what, there are days that I really fucking miss them, though. Really fucking miss them. Mostly when I ever speak to or see my children. No, well, it's not that bad. Right, so Dunners leads from Harley. It is Ash in third from Wolsey, who's doing a good job up there, actually, and been quite consistent today. Baguette, who is ghosted. Are they paused at the moment? But still in the race, who knows? Bray Train running in 6th position. Forza Ferrari is ahead of Cameron now, ahead of Fingers, as Baguette dropping through that order, ghosted out. Are they disconnected or have they just gone for a poo? Who knows? Baguette now in 7th, Fingers in 8th, Cameron in 9th position. Paggy up to 10th after repairing that front wing, having shunted the back of Cameron, but 37 seconds back from Cameron at the moment. And then Scuba 6 seconds back from Paggy, as Forza makes the move on Bray Train up into 5th place. But Bray Train having a little shufty up the inside at a potential another move, but it doesn't happen. And they've still got Baguette in there, ghosted out, which is much easier, obviously, to overtake a ghosted car than it is in a Yellow, but it still can be off-putting being in there ahead of you. But Dunner's still holding off, and Toys has left this session. So we've lost Toys, we've lost Ryan, and we've lost Connor. Fastest lap goes to Paggy, back in 10th position at the moment. But Dunner's still leading the way. 18 laps now done on those medium tyres. And Harley sticking in there. But I actually think Harley is holding back. I think Harley is looking after those tyres a little bit. Looking after fuel, knowing that the car in front is on the mediums. You can see the yellow band on that car in front. So you know what the car in front of you is doing. And you are in a unique position. If you know that they've been on those tyres much longer than you have, of course. You've still got some life left in those tyres. You know those tyres can do somewhere around 20 laps. They're asking their tyres to do 20, and they're only really designed to do 15 to 18 laps. And you've had the same amount of time as they have behind a safety car to look after your tyres and take less out of them, put less load through them, ask them to do less. So you're now in a position where you're 4 laps better off on tyres that have more life. You have to consider yourself to be in quite a strong position. If Harley can get ahead of Dunners and even pull a little gap, then it really does change the complexion of this race. But I don't think it's a train smash with these two kind of pulling away as they are, and just doing the job as they do. However, picking up penalties like that is not what you want to do, because it doesn't matter what hard work you do on the track. 3 seconds is a long fucking time in Formula 1. It's the difference between, often it can be the difference between first and last. I'll give you an example. There was a grid the other day for a broadcast I did where there were 20 cars on the grid, and it was 1.1 second between pole position and 20th. That is proper real-life Formula 1 distances. And these guys were that close. So if you get a 3-second penalty, then you can really be in trouble. But we will see. I just had a plethora of messages come through on WhatsApp. I don't know why. Nothing important, so who cares? Right, so Dunner still leads from Harley. Axe still in third. Wolsey's 6.5 seconds back now, but has Forza for company. And we know what Forza does when Forza is coming for you. But 12 laps on those soft compound tyres, and they are screaming for mercy. Please help me. Help me! Because they're just they're going to be absolutely worn to shit. Tucked in behind that AlphaTauri of Wolsey. Baguette 2.1 seconds behind, just picked up a penalty. No longer ghosted. He's clearly stopped having a poo and he's back in the car. But, you know, credit to Baguette. Jumped in 2 races here. First couple of races and done okay. Finished 6th in race number 1. Currently running 6th in race number 2 in this feature race. Ahead of Fingers, of course. He's 3.4 seconds back. 12 laps into those medium compound tyres. Cameron into the pits. No, he's not. Cameron stays out, not into the pits. 20 laps on those hard tyres now. 1.7 seconds behind Fingers, trying to repair the damage of their spin. Bray Train started this race on pole. By the end of lap 1, was back in last place, 14th place. Fought their way back up, is in 9th as we speak, but 19 seconds back. Forza Ferrari is making the move on Wolsey. Does it stick? Gets around Wolsey. He's ahead of Wolsey. Does Wolsey pull the switcheroo? Certainly tries to, but Forza just has that pace and moves up into the top 4. Next target, action. And I guess it's time for action. Boom, boom, boom selection. Yeah, that's for you Brits. Scuba running in last place, 11th place, 19.8 seconds back from Paggy. It could be an interesting finish to the race for them guys at the rear of the pack. So Harley is now ahead of Dunners. I said this was going to be a really, really good position to be in, and it certainly is. They're already opening up to 8th, 10th. If they can continue opening up this gap, and of course the key thing is that Forza Ferrari is in 4th. That's where absolutely Harley wants to see Forza right now, way back in 4th, particularly for the TG Trophy. Nothing else but them for the TG Trophy, because the requirement is to beat Nathan in at least one session, I think, if I remember rightly. So Harley leading by 1 second. Ash in 3rd. Forza Ferrari, 8.8 seconds back. Has done 14 laps on those soft compound tyres. Really putting some load through them now. But there's going to be some pit stops coming up soon. I wonder how many people have been holding on for a safety car over these last few laps, thinking, well, we've had shitloads already. Can we have another one? But clearly not at this stage. We've got 13 laps remaining. 23 of 36 are done. We've got 13 laps to go. As it stands, Toys, Ryan and Connor all out of this race. And we've got just 11 runners left. We were expecting 15 and a reserve, which for me counts 16, but only 14 have arrived. Could it be a Friday night thing? Just Friday night's a difficult night, and people want to go out for a beer and not. I don't know. I don't know. I know that Black Flag stopped racing on Friday nights because it was mostly about just beer. Anyway, yeah, I did want to talk about. Remind me actually, because it's what they normally do on a Friday. BCGT is the Black Country GT riders. They have started this evening a weekend long charity event to raise money for, I want to say, children's cancer. Not that I want to say children's cancer, but I think that's and I apologise now to everyone at BCGT. I can't remember what the exact charity is, but I do know that they're going to be doing a lot of racing this weekend on Gran Turismo to raise some money, and of course I will. I'll have to give more now. I've forgotten what it's actually for. But I know they started this evening, and usually what they do on a Friday is they all start racing, get very drunk, and then crash a lot, and then usually crash somebody else's lobby late at night and give that guy that started his own lobby and sitting on his own and got no friends a reason to feel alive, because 15 people have basically just piled into his lobby drunk and started racing. But, you know, tonight it's all about raising some money for charity, which is what they're doing. It's a long weekend-long kind of endurance event almost. So, yeah, you know, good shout to those guys for doing that. They didn't really want to get broadcast, which is why I'm doing this and not that. They just wanted to kind of do it amongst themselves and raise a few quid. Didn't want to raise the profile too much, but, you know, it's down to them. do what you want to do. But congratulations to them guys for putting that effort in. But yeah, good on them. But Harley still leads the way. So lap 25 of 36. We're into the final 10 laps of this race. And Harley leading from Dunners. Now 24 laps Dunners has done on those medium tyres. And he's very, very good at making tyres last a long, long time. And you have to think at this stage that he is certainly going to be looking at putting just softs on to the end. Certainly Harley is thinking about that. If, of course, bear in mind that Harley has pit already. If Harley cannot make it to the end of this race on those tyres, as we've lost Scuba now from this race, we are just down to a final 10 runners. Harley from Dunners, it is Ash from Baguette, who's doing really well on their debut, up into 4th. Wolsey in 5th position, followed by Fingers up into 6th. Do you know, it's quite a good race for Fingers today, and I don't think I've really acknowledged the fact it's such a good race for him as he dives into the pits on lap 26 here. This will be his final pit of the race, of course. Forza up into 8th, Bray Train running in 9th, and Paggy is in last place. It's the fastest lap goes to Forza Ferrari, who has pit and come back out in 7th. Is now going to run to the end of this race on medium compound tyres. Excuse me for that. Getting some drinkies on board. So Harley, 21 laps in on those hard compound tyres, has opened up 2.2 seconds now from Dunners. Surely Dunners can't be trying to run to the end on these tyres. I think everybody's pit at least once, haven't they? No, Dunners hasn't pit, so definitely has to. Ash, we know, definitely has to. Cameron as well, definitely. Well, he doesn't have to anymore because he's doing it right now, as is Dunners. So Dunners in. Cameron will have to. Ash will still have to. Harley doesn't, but I doubt very much whether these tyres can go all the way to the end. Surely they can't. They've done 22 laps already. We've still got 9 laps of this race remaining, which will mean those laps will have had to do 31 of the 36 racing laps. It would be a sensational thing if he did. It would actually be.
What happened here was a miracle, and I want you to fucking acknowledge it.
But we'll see. We'll see. Well, we can see that. I mean, Ash has done 26 laps on those tyres, and he's running quite well. Wolsey's done 25, and he's running quite well. So we'll see soon, because Harley, if they can take him to the end, doesn't need to pit. 8.9 seconds ahead of Ash, who we know does still need to pit. But get now up into the top 3. Now they've done 18 laps on those tyres, and based on the fact that Wolsey has done 25, Cameron has done 26. Going to the end of the race for Baguette is not an unfeasible achievement. In fact, it's an incredibly feasible achievement. And so much so that I'm going to go outside bet. Penalties aside, I'm going to say that. Penalties aside, as Ash goes into the pits. Oh, Baguette going into the pits, so fuck it. That throws that out of the water. I was going to say that I thought Baguette might win this race from that point if they hadn't pit. Not taking into account penalties, but now they've pit. I think it's going to be a big action for them to do, ask for them to do it. So Harley leads from Dunners. Ash comes out in 3rd. Baguette in the pits. Who gets through? I think Baguette still come out because Wolsey, Forza, and Bray Train are all in. Why Forza? I'm sure Forza's recently pitted. Well, obviously it's the safety car that's making the difference because Cameron is out of this race now. So Cameron did make it almost all the way through. I don't know, some people have pit that, despite the fact there was a safety car and it's a cheap pit, probably didn't need to. I think, sometimes pitting for the sake of pitting just seems like a silly thing to do. I mean, Harley is doing making the wise choice, which is track position. However, with 25 seconds to spare, you've got to come in and change your tyres. Surely, because this is a really good position for Harley to be in. Come in, put on those soft compound tyres, and go fucking racy towards the end of this race. As Wolsey picks up a penalty. So Harley in. Should get out ahead of Dunners. There's Dunners coming round the final few turns now. You've got this big sweeping right-hander that will take you across the line. Where's Harley? Dunners coming down the pit straight. There's Harley coming out. Harley comes out in the lead, 6 seconds clear. Now, ideally, one more lap and then the safety car comes in and Harley's in a great position. However, if the safety car stays out, it becomes less of an issue with the with the kind of the tyre wear and stuff like that. I'm sorry, just catching up with the chat because I was leaning back on my chair and I couldn't see it. You need the extra pace. But the thing is, though, I mean, track position though has got to be key. You're back in 7th, Forza. That's extra pace or not. That's a big ask when everyone around you is on the soft compound tyre, bar one. You got to be out. Didn't think the group last 27 laps. Was planning to pick for softs. So ended up 27. Didn't quite make it. I don't think anyone did. I think you were close, but yeah, it is what it is. But the thing is, hard to lap 27. You probably should have made it. Especially with so many safety cars, you should have made it. You'll pass them all easy. Right, you do realise you've written that down, right? So you're saying you're going to... What are you saying? You're going to win this race or you're going to finish top 3? I want you to be clear about what you're saying here. Because I'm going to call you out on it if you get it wrong. So all of them or to the top 3? I'm waiting for a response before I say anything else. So what we got? Essentially 7 laps left. We're still on the safety car. If the safety car comes in at the end of this, which is lap 30, so top 3. All right. If I've got to think of a challenge. Right, okay. If you make top 3 from here, I will make a lobby on GT7 with your livery, and I will make you your own personal, like WWE style, Forza entry video, which I will play in every single stream I ever do where you're involved. Right, whether it be Champions or Porsche Cup or whatever, anything you're involved in, I will play like an entry video for Forza with a livery of your choice and a car of your choice and a track of your choice from GT7, right? If you don't make top 3, you have to put Black Flag Racing TV logos on every single car you ever race with on GT7 for the end till the end of time. Deal? Well, we'll soon see, because it is time to go racing. Let's go on board. Do you know what? He's laid the challenge down, so here we go. So Cameron's going Harley Forza Dunners. You'll bet your soul on Harley to win. So here we go. Race begins, and this is the Forza challenge. Oh my Jesus, motherfucking Christ! He has already absolutely burned fingers, and I think he's going to get Wolsey into turn 1. He is side by side with the AlphaTauri. Into the braking zone they go. Can he make this move? No, he can't. He can now, though. Does he make it stick? He does. He's up to 5th place. This is Forza charging for a top 3. And I think I'm going to be making a fucking video this week. So, Baguette is the next target. Just ahead. Baguette is on fresh tyres, not quite so fresh tyres actually, 10 lap old soft tyres. Axe is going to be the one who's going to have to really catch them. There we go. There is fourth. Holds it. Yes, he does. Oh my Jesus motherfucking Christ. Please, Axe, don't let him pass. Do not let this guy win this fucking bet quite so easily. He is absolutely burning everyone to make his way through. Harley leads from Dunners. There's already 1 second difference between them. 1 second from Dunners to Axe. Forza Ferrari is on an absolute charge. I've laid down the gauntlet for him, and he has picked up that gauntlet, slapped me around the back of the head, and said, I'm taking that fucking bet, my friend. I'm taking that bet. And I am begging for somebody to crash their car now and bring out the safety car as Harley puts in the fastest lap with a 1:18.6. Wolsey dropping way down that order into the pits, so changes his mind about those medium tyres and is going to put on some soft compounds, but too little too late, I think. It is lap 32 of 36. Penalties. Our penalties going to be my friend. So 3 seconds for Harley. At the moment, Dunners is going to win this race. Ash, 3 seconds for him. He's going to drop way out. As is Forza, as is Baguette. Paggy is there or thereabouts. Baguette was 6 seconds. He's going to drop right down. Drive through for Wolsey, serving that penalty. 9 seconds for Fingers and 6 for Baguette. So I'm a little bit less worried because Paggy is kind of there or thereabouts. I need Paggy to start getting their fucking finger out, man. So Forza is 4 tenths now behind Axe, who's getting some DRS off of Dunners, which is helping keep them ahead. This is lap 32 of 36. And Cameron has predicted Harley, Forza, Dunners in that order. At the moment, and here is DRS. It is Harley, Dunners, Axe. And if it stays like that, I'm a happy man because Forza has been given a challenge. To be fair, he didn't actually publicly accept the challenge. So I'm putting that out there now. I'm saying that he didn't publicly accept the challenge, so I can back out now. I'm not going to back out. I won't back out, and I hope that you won't either. I will do it if I lose. To be fair, I've said it. So, yeah. Anyway, this is how we stand. Harley leads 2.4 seconds from Dunners. Absolutely dominating at the moment. There is Dunners. He's got Axe just behind him. 7 tenths of a second. Forza Ferrari in there. 5 tenths of a second. Just half a second back from that McLaren trying to find a way through. Paggy 3.7 seconds back. Who, if they kind of up the pace, might help out a little bit and put some pressure on the back of Forza. Baguette drops down to 6th position, but still good racing from Baguette, because Baguette is new to this group, has come in and done some really solid laps, and no DNFs thus far. Fingers as well. I criticise Fingers a lot, mostly because I know him and I've seen him drunk and seen him do some really stupid things, and but I'm also aware he's got stories about me, so I'll probably keep my mouth shut. But one thing I will say is he tends to be quite consistent with staying in a race. He might not win much, he might not finish in the top 4 or 5 or 6, but he does stay in races for a long period of time, which means you get points. That's that simple. Disqualified from Wolsey, disqualified for ignoring his drive-through penalty. Oh, God, why can you park it in the middle of the track, man, and bring out a safety car? So, here we go. Sector 3, there is a yellow flag. No overtaking in that section. But now he's out of the race. He's been disqualified. Naughty. Did you know? Either you didn't know you had it. There he is. The new tyres are keeping him ahead. You either didn't know you had it, which means you're too drunk to notice, or you disagree with it and you're like, fuck it, I'm not fucking doing it, you prick. I imagine, for some reason, Wolsey, I imagine that is what was going through your head. Is that I don't care if you think I'm a penalty. I don't fucking deserve it, so I'm not fucking doing it. And that's the kind of thing that I would do, and that is why I don't win anything ever. So Harley absolutely dominating. 3.7 seconds. Oh, you had a drive-through glitch. So there is problems with things like that. Okay. Dunners dropping down behind Axe. Can Dunners hold Forza Ferrari at bay? We know he's good. He's up the inside. Forza makes the move into the top 3. And I've just dedicated a couple of hours of my time to making a fucking video for him. Holy shit. Dunners, please, man. You got to save my sorry ass from a couple of hours of making a WWE style entry video for Forza Ferrari. Which I'm going to have to do because I said I'd do it. So, there we go. Dunners is in 4th place. Forza up into the top 3. The penalties. The penalty's going to save me. 3 seconds. Stay within 3 seconds, Dunners, and I am saved. It is Harley in the lead from Axe. And at the moment, Harley's doing enough to win this race still. But Dunners, if he stays where he is, and why is that not? There we go. Dunners, if he stays where he is, could potentially still nick 2nd because of penalties needing to be served. So I'm not going to worry too much just yet, but if anyone out there spins, I could be in trouble. We're on the final lap of the race, and it would be remiss of us not to stick with Harley as he finishes here, and he's 3.9 seconds clear. To be fair, I'm looking at you, I did see you serve the drive-through. You went in. It's interesting to know that there's a glitch. I think you should get points for finishing where you finished because of the glitch. I'm calling it out on YouTube that he gets those points for finishing in 9th anyway because of the glitch. There we go. Am I right in thinking you do these races on a Friday quite sozzled after a few beers after work? Because you see the post-up pictures of beers being opened increasingly earlier on a Friday than I'd probably be allowed to get away with it. Right, so here we go. Into Sector 3 goes Harley. At the moment, Forza up into 2nd place. But still Dunners is just there. Axe makes that move back up into 2nd. But with the penalties are going to play their part. And this battle is properly raging. Forza wants this. But we can't miss Harley crossing the line. Harley comes through, wins this race. And then it is going to be Forza or Axe. Which one's going to do it? Forza comes through. And Dunners nicks it. But Forza in 3rd. And I'm going to be spending my weekend making a WWE style entry video on GT7 for Forza Ferrari, which I now have to play at every single race he does. Shit. Sometimes my mouth gets me into trouble. Congratulations, Forza. Well done, mate. I will make you that video as I promised. Unless you want to let me off it because it wasn't actually shaking them. Maybe it's the focus, Wolsey. Maybe it's that focus of kind of staring at that line and following that line round. Maybe that's the difference. So, yeah, great race from Harley. Absolutely thoroughly deserved that. Dominated race number 2. Pretty good race number 2, actually. Safety cars early on were a bit shit. But the later safety cars mixed things up a little bit, didn't they? Especially that last one. Okay. I'm glad you said that. To be fair, we could have done it. But yeah, whatever. If you want me to make one, I will make you one, mate. A bet is a bet. But I am acutely aware that you're associated with Hyper as well, and they are much better at stuff than me. Much, much better. Anyway, the race is done. It's Harley who takes the accolades today in the Haas, wins that race from Dunners in the Alpine. Forza Ferrari, Scottish driver, comes home in 3rd in the Ferrari. Achieved what he claimed he would achieve, and you can just give applause for that. Axe comes home in 4th in the McLaren. Paggy in the AMG, and Braytrain, 2 Australian drivers in the Aston Martin. Baguette for Williams. Fingers for McLaren. Twitch Cameron for Red Bull. Scuba in the Alpine was a DNF. Toys was a DNF. Ryan DNF. Connor DNF. Wolsey was disqualified, but that doesn't count because it was a bug. So he will classify in 9th. No, well done, everyone. Really, really good race that. Really enjoyed it. I felt it dragged a little bit early on because of all those bloody safety cars. But anyway, another welcome to welcome to the racing. Thank you everyone for joining me this evening. Quite a night tonight, nothing else going on. I might do a little bit of, I'll play a little bit of Red Dead Redemption after this actually. Unless no one's racing, of course I might do something stupid. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, I'm not doing interviews, I can't be asked. Thank you very much for joining me. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with Euro Tripz F1. Awesome racing from everybody. Tomorrow we are back at around 7:45, 8 o'clock for round 4 of the endurance series in the GR3s at Bathurst over on GT7. John is here from about 7:45 and we'll talk some shit for a couple of hours watching some GT cars go around. All I can say other than that is thank you for joining me. Laters.